to make our itty bitty kitten, you will not need much yarn, 7 to 8 yards of your main color. This is the new Bernat Hopscotch. It's very fluffy. You'll need a piece of yarn, pink or whatever color for your nose, like 12 inches. 2 pieces of black yarn, 8 to 12 inches or smaller for your eyes, because honestly this guy's really small, so I'm used to making bigger things, so I'm overestimating probably, so I'll be cutting ends, which is fine. Polyfill, a round counter, which should be zeroed. Stitch markers are handy. A lighter is always handy. Not necessary, we're not doing color changes. And scissors. You could also use blanket yarn for the face. I will show you that, and then there's another cat I did where I'll show you the chunky yarn. So either one, you'll just notice the other cat's a different color with the chunky yarn. So starting with our slip knot, we take our working yarn over the tail side, creating a loop, and then pull a loop through that loop. Pulling on the tail will tighten the knot, pulling on the loop will adjust the size of the loop. I'm finding I like to knit quite tight with the tension, so barely 2 fingers width, really small loops for this mini. So starting with a chain of 7, so that counts as our first one. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now to create your circle, if you want to knit in a clockwise direction, you take your tail to the bottom and down through last chain space there. If you want to knit in the other direction, which I actually am able to knit tighter, and I'm finding it better for minis because I'm using my right hand more than my left. So I'm going to take it to the top actually today. And then fix your chain so that's nice and flat. This kind of shows the outside chain spaces are in this brown spot, and then the inside chain spaces are actually lighter, so I hope that's not confusing. Don't knit your tail. If you want to get it out of the way, put it down. So this first loop, you want to again adjust it so it's quite small, like barely 1 finger's width. I'm finding with the minis, the smaller you can keep your loops, so the tighter the tension, essentially. So there's going to be 6 loops in total when we're done. So that first one, and then pulling up 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's our first round. So we're going to be a total of 6 rounds. So it'll be 36 loops total, or if you want to go round by round, use your stitch marker. And again, I am keeping them very small loops, tension tight. So if you had been counting and you lost count, just remember they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces if you want to count back down. So we're on our last round. So if you want to cut your 6 to 8 inch tail, whatever you need to close, but we're going to close this side first. So this yarn tail is on the inside right now, and we're going to go in the clockwise direction because we knit it the other way, and take it from the inside to the outside of now these tan chain spaces. Like so. Then down through the middle, and then back out just to the side of it, and then I'm going to go through that loop, pull it tight, and it goes. There we go. Okay, so you can add your polyfill now. I feel confident I'm not going to pull the loops through on this one, so I'm not going to close off yet. I'll close off after I stuff. So I've stuffed it about that much. Now I'm going to close off this end by taking your yarn tail inside to outside the loops. Now I'm also going to add a little bit more stuffing on this end because this is the face. So you want to make sure we have it good and stuffed and nice and flat when we pull it tight. So pull, then take that into the middle and out, and anchor it. And then I'm just going to stuff that away. And that is our cat body. Now this is where stitch markers might come in handy if you want to visualize where the feet are. I've put the feet in bad places a couple times, so you want them fairly close together. So maybe only one apart, but you want them really towards the front and really towards the back. And I don't know, he might be chunky enough to do that far apart. Yeah, that'll be good. And then the back ones will go here. So all the paws are done the same way. I'll show you how to do two, and then you can do the other two on your own. You take your yarn and you pull up a loop towards you. So the head is facing away from me and I'm pulling up towards me. Then I'm going to chain one, cut 3 to 4 inch tail, something you have. It's long enough to work with, but you don't want to leave super long ends. Pull it through. Then you're going to take that and you're going to go right under, wrapping it around that stitch that you pulled that first loop on. Then you're going to take this first yarn tail, find this side of the foot, go through there, pulling it tight, pull this one tight, tie them together, and then tuck it away. And then just adjust your foot a bit. So there's our little paw, I guess. So again, so when you do the back ones, just turn it like that, and then you can do it this exact same way. Pull up one. Oops, I didn't do that the right way. Pull up one towards me. And then chain one. Cut so you have enough. Pull through. Go into the body and around that foot. Now I did have my yarn tail on the inside this time, which is fine. Just find half of that, of those two, and go through there, and then tie these together and then tuck them away. So those are my front paws. You can go ahead and do your back ones. So we'll meet up and do the ears, tail, and face. So there are my feet. Let's do the ears next. So you don't want, ear placement can be tricky because if you put them too close together, they might look like a rabbit. If you put them too far apart, they might look like a bear or dog. I don't know, something else. Anyways, leave enough of a tail so that you can wrap this around a stitch. So you're going to pull up a loop like so, and then you're going to wrap it around. So I need more. There we go. I would have liked to have some of the brown in there, but then wrap it around. Cut again a yarn tail you can wrap. So wrap it around. Then we're going to tie them at the back here twice, and then tuck away your ends. And then you have to kind of pull it up to stand up. So I don't know, this one might look like a bear. Put it here. We'll see. Get some of that other brown in there. There. If I did probably both of them a cream, it might look more like a bear. Which I am hoping to come out with a mod for that as well. Just give me time. It takes a couple trial and errors before I get a pattern perfected. Tie. So now the tail. Do I have a piece long enough? I gotta go find a piece long enough. So just wait a second. Okay, tail. Again, I find it easier facing me. Find the middle back. Pull up a loop towards me. Leave enough of a tail again so you can tie it. So I'm gonna do the tail. And so that's 1. I'm going to do 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you would cut a yarn tail long enough for you to take it through the end and then weave it back down. Mine just happens to be that length. Then you're going to take it from the back through to the front. And this can also shape your tail. If you pull it tight, it's going to curl your tail. All the way down, and then wrap your beginning yarn tail around that stitch. Take this one, this yarn tail, into the body and back out where that other yarn tail is. And like I said, if you pull on this, it will curl your tail, shape it a bit, hold it up. Oops. Anyways, tie it together. And then tuck it away. And there is the cat tail. Now we'll do the face. So I'll show the chunky yarn face with a different colored cat, and I will do the blanket yarn on this cat. So whichever you prefer to do. I forgot to mention a tapestry needle or some kind of crafting needle might be handy if you're doing the blanket yarn eyes. So you come in from outside, and then I like to do where the bottom of my eye is going to be. Give yourself lots of slack so you can go up and back and forth a couple times, then go up to where the top of the eye is going to be, back down. You can also add white as an accent with this too, but I'm just going to keep mine black. Something you want to keep in mind is your time. So if you are wanting to make things for a market and eyes are not your best, or you're not very quick at super complex eyes, you've got to remember that if it takes you an hour to do the eyes, but only 30 minutes to make the thing, maybe you should find a different way to make eyes a little quicker until you just get better at it. Practice it when you're not in prepping mode. Just a tip. I know, but then also, do cuter eyes make the product sell better? But are you having to increase your price point then? Very good arguments, very good debate here. Okay, so I think that's going to be enough. So I'm just going to go straight out. I shouldn't have come back up at the bottom of the eye. I should have gone out where the black is there. I hope that's a good spot. Eyes are hard to get in good spots. I don't know how many times I redo faces. And again, if you're not very proficient at it and it takes extra time, it is eating into how much you should be charging. One more. I should have been keeping track how many times I went back and forth on each to do them the same. The more rounds you do, the less chance that all that yarn underneath is going to peek through. So definitely do as many rounds as you want. I'm just showing you the general idea. And I don't know, I always get kind of a little bit of a side. Got attitude. Okay, so the nose just goes straight across. You could add whiskers if you were really good at this. I just find there's not enough space. It's like going into the side of the cat's head and they look weird. So come on. Thicker needle end would have been better. So again, with the nose, come in from out. I like to go like right between the eyes. And then you can go back and forth as many times as you want. Back over to this eye. You could do a little mouth down from the nose too. Again, I just find it's a little too busy. I want to keep it pretty simplistic. The more details you're adding, the more time. So the more you should be, if you're doing markets, the more you should be charging. So it's not bad to like do a few super detailed ones, but you want products at all price points. One more and then go down into, back out there. And if you have seen cats too, you could also go to the back You've seen other patterns in crochet where they got the little X on the kitty bum. So if you want to add that, just go jump and then down diagonally, back up. And you could do this in the black or whatever color too. So, pull that a little too tight. There we go. So, that's the mini loaf cat, and of course you can always adjust it to make it different colors, change. If you want to do the ears and the paws in a solid color and the body in a striped, if you want to make the tail small or a little bobcat, do the tail again in a different color, totally customizable. Add the whites for accent. Can't wait to see them, so cute. I think this one is going to be the eye. I have way too much yarn tail, but you could trim yours. And then you can add the white accent on that same stitch if you're feeling like you like that. And just adjust. So completely optional. And your nose, just go through the middle once or twice. I think once will be enough for this cat. Or maybe the nose a little bit higher might be better, but you get the idea. I took the white out, and then I just put the nose up higher and it made it a little bit smaller, so it kind of looks like a chunky cat now. If the other way to fix this would be to move the eyes down and then the nose down as well.